Hello friends, welcome back to the YouTube channel of Edurba Academy. I'm Kevin, your math tutor, and in today's lecture number 1 of chapter 2, which is angles, we are going to study what is an angle and type of angles. We are also going to study how to measure an angle. Now this chapter is divided into 3 lectures which are covered in 3 different videos. So let's begin this lecture with basic question. What is an angle? An angle is a figure formed by two rays or two lines which meet at a common end point. The two rays which make an angle are called as arms of angle, whereas the end point where the two arms meet is called as a vertex of an angle. So in this case, we have arm BA and arm BC which are meeting at vertex B. Angle shows the amount of rotation between the arms of an angle. So in this case, we have angle ABC, and this angle ABC shows how much arm BA has rotated with respect to arm BC. Now angles are typically measured in degrees using protractor. As you see, protractor has two layers of angles measuring 0 to 180 degrees. The inner layer shows an angle starting from the right side. So that's why you see 0 at the right side. This is used to measure when the arms open in an anti-clockwise direction. So that means 0, 10, 20, 30. So the arm is opening with respect to right side. Whereas the outer layer shows the angles when the arms open in clockwise direction. That means 0 is towards the left side and the other arm will start opening in the clockwise direction. So we have to be very careful about arms are opening clockwise or anti-clockwise, and accordingly we have to choose outer layer or inner layer of the protractor to measure an angle. Now let's understand angle with this example. Here we have angle ABC or angle CBA. In the name of angle, the vertex B will always come in the middle. This angle ABC has two arms, BA and BC, and these two arms meet together at vertex B. Now, if you observe the name of arms, the arms always have to start with the vertex. So, the first arm is BA, which starts with the vertex, and the second arm is BC, which also start with the vertex. Now, this is how we measure an angle. So, in the first case, we have angle ABC with the arms BA and BC, and they rotate around vertex B. Now, if you observe here, these arms are opening in anti-clockwise direction. That means the reference is towards the right side. That means 0 has to come towards the right side. Now observe how I place protractor to measure this angle. I match the horizontal line on the protractor with arm BC and the center of the protractor overlapping with vertex B. Now which layer I should use? Inner layer or outer layer to measure the angle? You observe that this arm is opening in anti-clockwise direction, and that means 0 has to be at the right side. Now if you observe on the protractor, the inner layer is showing 0. That means my angle has to be measured on the inner layer. Now if you observe, the arm BA is perfectly matching with the 30 degrees line on the inner layer of this protractor, and that's why the angle ABC is equal to 30 degrees. In the second case, we have angle PQR. In this, arm QP is opening in anti-clockwise direction. That means my 0 has to come to the left side. So now again I have to place the protractor where the arm QR perfectly matching the horizontal line on the protractor, and vertex Q is perfectly matching at the center of the protractor. Now if I observe, the arm QP is overlapping on the outer layer because 0 has to start with the left side, and that shows on the outer layer. I can see that arm QP is overlapping with the 50 degree angle, and that's why angle PQR or angle RQP is equal to 50 degrees. Now that you understand how to measure an angle, less studied type of angles. In this example, we are going to assume that the angle between the rays is measured in anti-clockwise direction. That means 0 will be towards the right side and this ray is going to open in anti-clockwise direction. So that means on the protractor, we have to match 0 towards the right side, which is inner layer of the protractor. The first type of angle is a zero angle. A name shows that we have zero angle between this ray and a horizontal line. That means arm is perfectly matching the horizontal line on the protractor, or in other words, the arm has not opened yet. So when two rays or lines lie upon the other or measure 0 degree angle, the angle between them is a zero angle. The second type of angle is an acute angle. In this, arm opens up, so angle is always more than 0 degrees, but it cannot cross 90 degrees. That means it has to be always lesser than 90 degrees. That means any angle between 0 to 90 degrees is called as an acute angle. In this example, the angle is 50 degrees. So we have to start with the inner layer because 0 is towards the right side. So if we measure here, we can see that this arm is matching 50 degrees and 50 degrees is between 0 to 90 degrees, and that's why this is an acute angle. The third type of angle is called as a right angle, which means perfect 90-degree angle. So as you see on the protractor, this angle starting from 0 and measuring perfectly 90 degrees. So when an angle between two rays or lines is 90 degrees, it is called as a right angle. Now what if the angle is more than 90 degrees but lesser than 180 degrees? Such angle is called as an obtuse angle. So as you see, this ray is opening with respect to the 0 line in anti-clockwise direction, but this angle looks more than 90 degree and lesser than 180 degrees. That's why this angle is called as an obtuse angle. Now let's measure it with the protractor. We start counting from 0 to the right side, and as you go here, we have angle of 150 degrees. So 150 degrees comes between 90 degrees and 180 degrees. And that's why this is an obtuse angle. The fifth type is a straight angle. This is a perfect 180-degree angle. This also means that the arm has completed half of the rotation. It started from the right side and it has completed the half rotation to the left side. Now, if you measure that on the protractor, we start measuring from the right side and then we reach to 180 degrees, and that's why it is a straight angle. The sixth type is a reflex angle. When angle is more than 180 degrees but lesser than 360 degrees, it is called as a reflex angle. When this ray completes one full rotation, it is going to reach at 360 degrees. But when the angle is between 180 degrees or 360 degrees, it is called as a reflex angle. And finally, the arm completes the full rotation. It began from here, it completed the full rotation and it came back to the original position. That means it completed 360 degrees rotation. In the protractor, first 180 degrees was on the upper side and the remaining 180 degrees was on the lower side. So 180 plus 180 is 360. That is how this arm completed complete rotation of 360 degrees. Such angle is called as a complete angle or a full angle. Now let me summarize all the angles. A 0 degree is when arm has not opened yet, and we are measuring this in anti-clockwise direction and on the inner layer of the protractor. A right angle is when arm completes 90 degrees, whereas another 90 degrees and the arm will reach to 180 degrees, which is called as a straight angle. When the arm travels another 180 degrees, it will complete the full rotation. That means it will complete all 360 degrees. Such angle is called as a complete angle. Now, any angle between 0 and 90 is called as an acute angle, whereas any angle between 90 and 180 is called as an obtuse angle, and any angle between 180 and 360 degrees is called as an reflex angle. So if you remember remember this, you can very well understand the type of angles by looking at how much degree angle is. Not only that, you can draw a zero angle, acute angle, a right angle, obtuse angle, straight angle, reflex angle, or a complete angle with the help of this figure. So hopefully children, now you understand what is an angle, how to measure an angle, what are the different types of angle. We'll continue to study angles in lecture number 2 as well. See you in the next lecture.